Welcome to the Pikeville City Managers Report. I'm Jill Fraley-Dotson, your host for today's show. As always, joining me, Pikeville City Manager Philip Ellswick. Good day, sir.
Hello, Jill. Thank you.
Always nice to be with you as we talk about a lot of new things that are going on in the city and certainly around the region that are affecting a lot of people. We're getting ready to start into some really busy months, and the past few months have been really busy as well. So
absolutely, that's always busy.
Lots to discuss. Let's start with our annual SOAR Summit. That's getting ready to take place in the city of Pikeville at the Expo Center. A heavily attended event, but certainly such a wonderful way to market and to meet people from different areas that really get together for the betterment of our region.
Right, we're really thankful that they host the summit in Pikeville. It gives people an opportunity to see our city and experience it from all across the region and also nationally. So, you know, we're thrilled to host that at the Expo every year, and they just completed that this year. And SOAR's been a great partner, not only for the Appalachian region, but for Pikeville in particular, in helping us fund some projects that we've been doing. And SOAR's organization was very instrumental in the funding for the bridge and the road going to the industrial park. Probably wouldn't have happened nearly as quickly without SOAR's presence. So we're very thankful for SOAR, and it's been a great partnership. Had a whole host of speakers this year, from Congressman Rogers and the governor, Vinnie Bowles, a retired Major General in the Army, Tim Thomas from ARC, the co-chair, who is also originally from Kentucky, and he's the federal co-chair. So it's good to have a Kentuckian in that position. Rural development is part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and rural development is a very important agency for funding projects, whether that be infrastructure projects or home mortgages for individuals, things of that nature. So the assistant to the Ag Secretary was here, and it was good to have her in town and get to spend some time with her. And then also Interblue is going to have one of their electric vehicles on display, so it's you know, it was interesting to see that and see the product that they'll be producing at the industrial park. And also Silverliner with Chris Tomlinson had one of his tanker trucks there, so it was a great event for the region. Yeah,
speaking of Silverliner, I was up at the Marion's Branch Industrial Park or Enterprise Park the other day, and they have a roof and walls. So
and the slab's done as well.
And the slab is done. So we'll talk a little bit about that coming up in just a few minutes. But also, let's talk about Sandy Runyon, if we can. Big Sandy ad, executive director for 18 years.
Yeah, Sandy's actually originally from Pike County, and she's been at the ad for 18 years, and she's retiring this year. And the City Commission at our last meeting issued a proclamation honoring her service there. And a lot of people don't know what the area development districts do, but that has become a staple of the Appalachian Region Commission states, and it originated in Kentucky with Governor Combs. And it's a place where regional leaders gather to host meetings about regional issues such as, you know, water plants and sewer plants and transportation planning and things of that nature. So the ad is a real asset to this region. And, you know, a lot of smaller cities or counties that don't have grant writers or don't have all the professionals that they need for projects, the ad has those people, and you can use them free of charge pretty much. So the ad's a great organization, and Sandy's been there for 18 years and she's just done a tremendous job. So just wanted to take a minute to recognize her and thank her for her service to the region.
Quality people in those positions certainly help everybody better themselves. We always talk about a lot of projects that are going on within the city of Pikeville, and no doubt if you drive down literally any street in town, you will see something happening, specifically in our main thoroughfare down Hanley Boulevard and around the university. So let's talk about some of those projects that a lot of people may see but don't really know what's going on.
Right, a project that's going to be occurring in the near future is the Transportation Cabinet will be doing some repairs to the traffic lights at the Hambley and Huffman intersection. And that light, the timing has been off for some time, so traffic's kind of backing up there, and it's become a congestion issue. So the Cabinet will be working there to correct that problem. And then on the other end of Huffman Avenue, the city's undertaken a project to improve the drainage of that Huffman Avenue bypass intersection. And anybody that's been here in a heavy rain knows why we're doing that. There's just a large rain, you get a tremendous amount of water that comes off the mountain there, and the drains aren't big enough to handle it, so it overfloods the intersection. And so we're taking on a project to improve those structures and get that water directed away from the road and make it a much safer situation.
We also have a Pikeville Commons project that's going on. Pikeville Commons, around a $44 million project that's happening.
That was the development of Pikeville Commons that Sandy Runyon was very involved in.
Okay, very good. Let's talk a little bit about the infrastructure that we need to always talk about. Sometimes it's not our favorite thing to talk about, but certainly infrastructure has to happen. Our wastewater treatment plant is certainly something that we're always talking about.
Right. The wastewater plant was a project that began several years ago because we were reaching the capacity of our current plant. And as you reach capacity, you can't add new customers to your sewer system, which is a real problem in a city like Pikeville that was growing at the time, and we wanted to be able to continue that growth. So we undertook a very large project to change the technology that the plant used to operate so that we could increase the capacity of that plant in the same footprint that we had. So it took a massive project and made it a little bit smaller by staying within the same footprint. So that project is about a $22 million project total, and we're about 50% complete with that project now. So there's about 10 months left of the construction period, and once that's done, we'll have sufficient capacity to add several customers, which, we've talked in the past how important that is for economic development. If you can't treat the processed waters and the sewer that's generated at those sites, then they can't locate here.
Right.
So it's so important to have additional capacity.
And that is the one thing that they always ask.
Absolutely. It's one of the first things they ask.
The first things, what kind of broadband we have, those sorts of things, because they have to be able to operate. And with these larger companies coming in, of course, that's first and foremost important to them.
Definitely.
Public safety, we have seen, we talk a lot about our public safety teams, whether it be the police department, the fire department, but we do want to recognize some new faces that folks may be seeing around town.
Yeah, the police department's lost some staff to changing a career to a teaching position, and with retirements, and then of course Officer Hamilton's death. So we needed to restaff there and get back to our full capacity to continue providing the service that we do. So recently we've hired 3 new certified officers. Jamie Fields, who was with the Commercial Vehicle Enforcement for 17 years, changed his role and came to the city of Pikeville to be a city policeman, which is far different than what he had been doing. So he's on board now. And then we hired 2 younger gentlemen as well, Austin King and Nick Taylor. Austin has been in the Marines and been working in another community's police department. Just a tremendous young man, and he'll be a great asset for Pikeville. And Nick is originally from Pike County, has worked in some other communities, their police department, and this was an opportunity to come home, and he wanted to do that. So we're excited to have them there.
Certainly so. When you mentioned Jamie Fields, a veteran really.
A veteran,
in the police world, so certainly happy to have him now full-time in the city and drawing upon the experience that he's had with KVE for so long. Right.
As the older officers retire, you lose not only a good person, but you lose all of their experience that they've accumulated. So it's, a good situation where you can hire somebody that has some of that experience and plug them back into your department. So we were really happy to do that.
Yeah, nice guy too.
Very, very nice.
Firefighters, 2 new firefighters and EMTs that we want to recognize.
Right. We, with a couple of retirements at the fire department, we had some positions. So Kevin Fox is returning to the fire department. He had left for a while and he's coming back, and we're excited about that. And then Chase Cheney, that he's totally new to the fire department, but both those guys are excellent people, will be excellent public servants for Pikeville.
Yeah, and your dispatch is going to have some new voices.
They will. Dispatch is a position that's kind of hard to fill, and it's truly the first responder. I mean, they receive the call and they dispatch the emergency services, and that's a stressful position. So there's a lot of turnover, not just here, but in every community. So we have added 3 new members to our staff conditionally. They still have some testing to complete and their certification, but as soon as that's done, they'll be on board, and we'll have new voices on the air. Yeah,
that's interesting too. And like you said, there is a lot of turnover, but that is a high stress position.
It is, very much
when
so.
you think about it. The 911 person that you call and they answer, it's usually a life or death situation.
It is, and they have to remain calm and do their job, and and the other person is in some traumatic situation. So it's a very difficult job and very stressful, like you said.
Definitely the first responder. We're really approaching fall tourism season, and one of the greatest attractions that we've had over the past few years is the opportunity to zip, paddle, and saddle. And anybody who lives in our area that's taken advantage of any of those activities knows how loved that they are. But we have a new group that has taken over Muddy Boots, I believe is their name, and they're up, and I think going to be taking over pretty soon, this month.
They are. A couple of local business people have formed Muddy Boots and responded to our request for proposals, and were awarded that contract. So they will be in operation early September with the zip lines and the river trail, and then the saddle portion of the project will come on a little bit later, as they need to, fill the barn with horses and things of that nature. So
yeah, but still, right now we want to make sure everybody knows you still have the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Until they get up to full capacity to rent any of those, the kayaks or the tubes. Certainly, and you can do that by going to visit Pikeville.com for reservations, or certainly call 794-9881. That's the easiest way to go ahead and make your reservations.
It is. And that's been a really popular attraction for Pikeville, the zip lines and the river trails. We have so many people that come to town just to do the river trails, and they're not from here, but it's a natural beauty that you only... The river has a totally different perspective when you're on it than when you're just looking at it from a road or whatever. So it's a unique experience.
I think it's interesting too when, I've talked about my love for the river and how I think it's so peaceful to get on the river in a kayak and just float, whether it's the 4-hour float, the 2-hour float, what have you. But when you're on there, you really forget, and as we drive past it every day on 23 or, we're going through town, it's, when you look down and you see people that are on the river, you think, oh man, I wish that were myself. Because it is one of those things where until you've been on it, you really don't understand the beauty that we have to offer here. And certainly the fact that you don't even feel like you're at your home. You feel like you're on vacation.
You do. So we have 3 entry points for the river that obviously are a different length time of float. Our newest one is at the Marion Branch Industrial Park under the new bridge. And I'm sure that'll become a popular entry point as well.
I think it already has.
Okay.
I already visited there.
That's why we have it.
Popular fishing spot too. Let's talk a little bit about the Expo Center, of course managed by the City of Pikeville, but our general manager, Cindy Collins, recently accepted another position at the Big Sandy Superstore. It gets her closer to her home and her family where she's from. So hate to lose her, wish her all the best. But we now need a new general manager.
We do. Cindy had been with us for about 4 years, done an excellent job, and will be hard to replace. But we've advertised for that position, and we had our first round of interviews with about 10 individuals, some of them local, some of them regional, and then we had folks as far away as Washington State that applied and interviewed for the job. They all have a host of experience that would be excellent for that job. So it's going to be a tough decision, and we're bringing some of them back in the next few weeks to have a second interview and spend a little more time with them, let them be in Pikeville more and kind of experience that and meet some of the local people. And so we miss Cindy, but we're also excited about the new person that'll come along with new ideas and some new energy for the Expo.
Hopefully that decision will be made by mid-September. And we will get them in full swing, and certainly they'll hit the ground running, no doubt.
One thing that's important is Cindy stayed with us about a month after she resigned her position, and she continued to work for a month, booking shows and events for the future. So we have a full calendar for the foreseeable future, even in 2019, and so there won't be any noticeable difference in the Expo.
And that's my next question. We're going to talk about some upcoming events at the Expo Center, some that we've already talked about, but we do want to remind everybody that there's still a huge opportunity the month of September and into October for number one for September for Main Street Live.
Right, our Main Street Live series started several years ago. It's a free event on the Expo Plaza at the Billy Johnson stage. We have different music, types of music every weekend. And the month of September wraps up that concert series with the dates on September 7th and September 21st. So we encourage people to come to town that night and enjoy a free concert and food and drinks at the expo.
Certainly one of my favorite events. And the biggest thing is that it's such a family-oriented event.
It
and
is.
Every band that we have come, all different genres of music, but
Right.
I love seeing families,
Mm-hmm.
the older members of your family, parents, and then the kids. I mean,
Right.
you see there's a ton of kids always there, and it
Right.
really brings the liveliness of the event to full view when you see the kids enjoying.
It does. It really brings a cross-section of the community
Mm-hmm.
to town, and a range of ages from young to old.
Yeah.
So it's a great experience for everybody.
Always a good time. Of course, that will wrap up in September, but then another event at the Expo Center going on October 2nd, always heavily attended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Garden Brothers Circus is
Mm-hmm.
returning. They were here last year, I believe, and are coming back for a couple of shows on October the 2nd. Obviously, that's a popular attraction with kids, and it's I think they have 60 different events and performers from 19 countries or something of that nature. It's a wide array of people there, and it's always popular, and we're glad to be hosting that.
There are 3 rings, and I hear the elephants are coming back too.
The elephants will be back.
So that's always a popular attraction, not just with the kids, but with the adults too. You always want to see
Definitely.
that. Another event coming up on October 6th is Hoptoberfest.
Right, that's an event that we had last year, and we called it the Craft Beer Festival.
Right.
And the group that's responsible for that, the committee that arranges it, wanted to have a more unique name for it, so they developed Hoptoberfest to kind of play on the Oktoberfest theme, obviously. So that's going to be on October 6th at the Expo Plaza. There was a huge crowd last year. We expect that again, and we're just looking forward to seeing what they have in mind for us.
Yeah, HoptoberfestKY.com for more information. And certainly last year was the first year of the Craft Beer Festival. So as those events get out into the different communities, not just our community, they become much more heavily attended. So we're looking forward to that. I was happy to see just the other day we have scheduled another concert for November 30th, and I know that this is going to be a big show.
Yeah, our November 30th concert is Diamond Rio, their holiday show. They'll be at the Expo that night. We expect a large crowd. Tickets go on sale September 7th. So we're excited to have them there. We know that the community will be as well. Yeah,
certainly so. And they're a great band going back a number of years, and I'm certain that their Christmas or holiday show is going to be wonderful because I know they have a lot of different mixes that they put in there. Winterfest is coming up again. The first event for that is going to be the Antique and Artisan Market, December 8th. And if you're a vendor, we encourage you to go register online, and you can do that. November 19th. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you can register online at the Expo's website for that. That's always a popular attraction around Christmas. Great place to buy Christmas gifts, especially from local vendors, and we're excited to offer that every year. Last year, the concourse at the Expo was full of vendors, and also the arena floors. So we want that to happen again this year. And it's being done in conjunction with the city's Winterfest event in the park, where we have the ice skating and a number of winter-themed events, I suppose. So
and attractions,
and
inflatables.
Yes, thank you. So that's we're excited to be offering that again. That was just a really large success last year, and we know that people are excited to have it back.
Yeah, going to be a bigger rink this year.
It is going to be a bigger rink.
Yeah, a bigger rink, much more space to try your hand at ice skating and fall if you need to. It's one of those things that kind of goes along with it. And I have to tell you, Jimmy Taylor makes the best hot chocolate.
He does.
Known to man. I mean, he'll hook you up with some great cocoa while you're down there. Certainly, Winterfest, and we'll be talking more about that coming up in the months and weeks to come. The other thing that's going to be really exciting at the Expo Center, and when I spoke with Josh Kessler, this was one of the events that he was so giddy about, because it's a show that's coming through Madison Square Garden, and it's going to be here in Pikeville too. So when you know the scale that Madison Square Garden is, to have the same show that they have, it's a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. That's a show that the staff at the Expo, Cindy, was kind of leading the charge for that, had wanted to do this show for a long time. And they got the opportunity this year, and that will be on December the 13th. The show's called Wonderland, and it's being done in conjunction with the Kentucky Symphony Orchestra. So it's a different type of show than the Expo's had in the past, and we're excited to offer that and see the response from the community.
Yeah, Cirque Musica, Wonderland with a Kentucky Symphony Orchestra. I can't imagine how beautiful the scenery is going to be, and the music's just going to be outstanding. Now, tickets are on sale now for that event.
They are.
On Ticketmaster or at the Expo Center box office. Of course, you can always charge by phone, but I encourage you, if you have not gotten your tickets for that yet, I pretty much can bet that will be a sellout closer to time, especially when everyone starts to get in the Christmas theme.
Right. That's certainly what we expect, and we hope so.
Yeah. We always give you a couple final minutes to talk about your position and the transparency of the city, and certainly if there's an issue you want people to come to you, the commission is always open. The commission meetings are an open event.
They are. For
people to come to, but the transparency is always there.
Yeah, the commission meets every second and fourth Monday of the month at City Hall. There's always opportunity for public comments and people to make their concerns known or ask questions, and we certainly encourage the community to participate in that process. We do the things that we do for the community and our citizens, so we like to have the engagement and the input that they provide. So we encourage them to attend and do that. But also you can call my office at any time, or all of the commissioners, mayor, are always available to talk to you and answer questions and just do what we can to assist you.
Yeah.
So.
If there's an issue that you have, come to them. See what can be done.
Right.
And certainly if you have a positive comment too about our city or things that are going on, it's always nice to hear good news.
It's always nice to hear good news. And our commission and the mayor want to serve the public, and anything they can do to help you, they will, and just like me and my staff. So
absolutely.
We're glad to have the opportunity to do these jobs.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to serve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Philip, thank you so much for your time. Always a great time to get together and talk about things that are going on in and around the city of Pikeville. I look forward every month to the time that we sit down, because it teaches me about some new things that are coming and what we can plan for. But thank you for your time. I look forward to next time.
Well, thank you, Jill. Good to see you.
This has been the Pikeville City Managers Report. Thank you so much for joining us.